Hello.
Episode 7 hype. Time for the murder tools. Except they're sometimes murder tools. They're mostly murder tools.
What's the worst that could happen in here anyway?
You
Oh
turn
no,
on the light,
Keiichi.
see all the murder tools. Oh,
It does still have its hand. That's fascinating.
it is interesting. It's a good opening because it kind of is foreboding for people who don't know what's going on, but also for people who are like, but what about the statue with the hands? Why does it still have its hands? That's a weird detail.
Actually, I remember last video we were talking about like the like things you can hide in the various flashes of a video. I spent so long trying to go frame by frame seeing anything in this intro.
There are a couple. Yeah, there are a couple moments, some of which you've already seen. Obviously, shout to the island. But yeah, there are a couple of details that just kind of flash open for a second or two tops. Shout out to Studio Passione for creating the first proper classy anime I think they've ever produced. So mostly classy.
I mean, listen, is it not kind of fitting for a Higurashi product to be handed to an indecent studio?
Well, they're not always indecent, but yeah, they mostly make slice of life stuff. Although, yeah, their recent claim to fame is a very raunchy show, which I certainly could not have seen. And if I had, I'd say it was fantastic.
It's going over my head here, dude.
I know, look, it's okay. Don't worry about it. The people who know, and that's all that needs to happen. Anyway, torture devices. Let's go.
I'm going to be quiet here because I'm going to pay very careful attention for any changes.
It's all right. I'll be sure to talk over you.
Yeah, you better be entertaining.
I will be.
And then I'll just edit it out anyway. He's not even nervous in this version of events.
No, dude. He's chill. Well, because she's not doing her full spooky routine. Here we go. Hold the lantern under your face, Takano. Come on. This is Spooky Story 101.
Hey, that'll do.
Oh my god, throwback.
Why is Keiichi so angry about this?
He doesn't want to believe this innocent, wholesome village
Keiichi
has
never
a dark
heard
side.
a ghost story before? Like, fuck,
He doesn't want to believe it. Maybe he hasn't. He doesn't have a terribly social life.
It's true. His dad probably just reads indecent manga to him.
That's it. That's all he's ever read. Not for the farming.
Is Keiichi going to break the hand off? I want to see it happen. The head?
The head popped off in two perfectly symmetrical pieces. Didn't even crack.
I do love me a good Iron Maiden.
It's very bizarre. The fact that in the original VN, like when the hand falls, it smashes. When the head falls, it like pops apart like Lego pieces.
That's the most mature thing Takano's ever said.
I agree. Look, I totally agree. This is the most mature that Takano is ever going to act right now. Straight up.
Ooh.
We were very bad. Watch out for the whooping trees. There they are.
What is with that? Oh, Jesus.
Got him.
That could have been the end of Keiichi. Tackling someone from behind while going down the stairs.
That was her plan, to murder him.
Oh no, he said no mistakes again. Didn't he learn from
So she should
Lost?
know. She knows he went in the shed. Oh. So Rika must have the realization now that even though she's like did the doll thing, was still on Bad Town.
That's one thing. This is entirely unrelated to the anime in most ways, but I have two screens. And I've got the anime up on both of them. One of them has really great colors, but it's like super dark, and the other one has terrible colors, but is like easy to see. I'm like swapping between watching the two of them so I can see everything that's going on.
Yeah, that's very silly.
Oh, that's not a good thing to say to twins.
You look exactly the same.
You're not an individual at all.
Ooishi, you're moving rather quickly today. Do you have some plot for us?
Oh man, if they do an arc where Ooishi just straight up is like actually Oyashiro-sama's messenger, he just like straight up prepares people.
His eyes roll back in his head.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you could say something like that.
Just has no idea what to say and says thank you.
Just being very formal. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't want to get arrested.
See, even Ooishi thinks that they're a Yakuza family, the comments. Just because we made that mistake because of his propaganda.
I'm Ooishi. And he's flawless, so you can't really blame him for anything. Uh-oh, they've gone missing.
The cameraman's losing his balance, Ben.
Uh-oh.
That's why you don't go up onto the top step of a ladder.
I was going to say, don't get that shot by standing on the ground unless you're a very tall person.
Stole one of the festival's
They
trucks?
stole a truck and went the fuck out of there.
That's very different.
It's incredibly different.
I have no idea what that could be about. That's so interesting.
Yeah, well, to me, the first thing that came to mind for me is that it's like a fake statue, considering that it doesn't break despite how old the thing is.
Yeah.
there's also could be room to like slot something under the head. There's that little compartment.
Yeah, like the simplest explanation is just that it's, a display version of the same statue that someone's...
Yeah, exactly. But then, like, why is the old statue not there when that was there in the previous show, right?
Yeah.
Like, what happened to the original statue?
Well, yeah, plus why is the old statue not in the storehouse for old things?
Exactly. It implies deception, right? It implies that this statue is there for deceptive purposes if someone should come in and have a look at it. Well, that is the question. I mean, we're doing a rerun of the twin gambit of Watanagashi. Do you think that this is Shion or Mion right now? That's the question.
I will just assume things are the same until I have reason to believe otherwise and continue to be completely paranoid. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Kimiyoshi's been missing.
So many people missing. They just grabbed Kimiyoshi, threw him on the back of the truck.
They threw him in the statue. It's the kitten story. The nyan nyan. That's what I said. Oh, thank you, Rika.
You must feel so validated.
Feel great.
Rika, you've brought the wrong script. This is from Arc 5.
Well, as they say, I will know someone said when I see the body.
But there's no doctor in this story we can trust.
It's true. There's no doctors that exist. Not even a forensic specialist.
I'm really interested to see how long we stick around with the pretense of following the original arcs.
Well,
I don't think it will last.
Well, yeah, I mean, another one of those little details is like Rika's all, I bet that they'll find Tomitaki and Takano's body soon, but like, do we even know that that's what's going to happen?
No,
who knows? Well, that's the thing. That's the question. So far, it hasn't.
I keep noticing that certain shots of Rika here have like much longer sleeves. Yeah. I don't know what that detail is meant to be implying to me.
I don't know. She got long sleeves. Girl is wearing longer sleeves than usual. That's what it means.
I must say, I do not miss having the band section at the end of each credits from the
what? The band section.
The band section.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah. From season 2. Yeah. No, it's fine. Episode A2. Yeah, I watched episode 9, and then that was it. So I'm excited to get to stuff I haven't seen before. Oh, that's not good.
She's out personally murdering Kimiyoshi.
Sadako is not happy.
Just everyone looking at him. Oh, it's beautiful. What is even weird about what he's looking at?
I don't know.
It's just slats and wood, isn't it?
I don't know. You know what happens when we're up on ladders during the second arc? Oh no.
Here it comes.
I can't believe of all the moments to include, they were like, we have to have the ladder scene.
Oh, you should have told Ooishi that. Gosh, Shion.
Hold on, wait, isn't this Mion? Felix, what are you talking about?
Sorry, Ben, my mistake. I should have,
What are you talking about?
Shion, you're not animating me. You're just dragging my JPEG around. Chie saved Keiichi. I told you we're here for the Chie hero arc.
Yeah, it's all Shion's fault. I blame her.
Whoa.
She's the one who should be in trouble.
Such a judgmental Jeeves. Oh, the van's there again! What are they doing?
They're watching them. Yeah, this again is very different. Renner is not here. There's no police sting operation.
If you survive that long, I promise I won't put anything in the tea.
Yeah, this can only end well.
Oh god, look at that color. It's poisoned as fuck.
He's so dead.
It's laced with the poison that she uses for her hair dye. I swear these are like all the same tracks as the previous 2 seasons. Is it like the same composer?
Yeah, it's the same soundtrack. A lot of the songs have been carried forward.
But there's still like some new productions in here, so it's like
they've created some new music, but they've gotten the rights to the entire original soundtrack, so they can just fucking go for it.
It's also really interesting. We've like dropped the tears as a memory metaphor kind of thing that we had going on last arc.
Yeah, well, this is a different arc, right? It's a different situation.
I almost wonder if it's like, kind of was the opposite. It's like more about people, losing those memories than it was about them remembering.
I don't know, maybe.
I have this very exact idea of what that place would smell like in my head. Just like this old, very, very smelly storage closet at a place I used to work. I picture it exactly like that.
Ooh, I like the little lights on the stairs. Those are cute.
Isn't it just? Oh my god, there's the cross.
Foreshadowing.
Oh my god, they have really upped the sophistication of that security system in this version of the anime.
Yeah, they do have the room ready to use, Felix. Because Keiichi can all be saying here, apparently.
This all sounds perfectly wise to me. I mean, the character saying I did this for your own good in every show ever is always the good
always
guy.
Right. Because, this has to be Mion, which is the fun thing about this, retelling that we've switched the twins back, right? That's why she doesn't talk about the tattoo, and Rena doesn't need to, suss her out.
Yeah.
And she seems to genuinely care about Keiichi. And that's her reason for, locking him up. She just loves the boy. She just wants him to be safe. That's all it is, really.
Yeah, I mean, I based on the way that Mion was talking during the ladder scene, genuinely would have thought
a real ass fucking
that's great.
gun.
Genuinely would have thought that it was Shion because of the way that she was being kind of weird about the way she was discussing their friendship.
Yeah, totally. But based on this scene, and there hasn't been a break between the two scenes, I'm pretty confident that it is Mion. And the question is what's happened to Shion in the meantime? Where is Rika? Did Sadako get tortured in this timeline? What's going on there? What the fuck is Mion trying to accomplish?
Yeah.
Because she doesn't believe in the curse. She doesn't believe it's the three families. Who is they? Who is the enemy that Mion is looking for here? There they are.
Oh shit! I was not.
Yeah, right.
Oh, because she's got Rika down here somewhere as well.
Mion, right? Well, we think so.
Oh no, because Rika's gone with them. What is going on?
Let's get to the end. Let's get to the end of the show, and we'll talk about theories. Because we're at the point, Felix, where both of us have watched up to the end of this arc. We're both mostly on the same page here.
Oh
we can do some
god! What is happening?
The mountain dogs apparently don't go into that room. They're just whatever. We'll just leave that room. It's fine. I do like that their relationship isn't so frayed that they can't just have a chat. It's not quite as antagonistic as in the VN of this arc.
I mean, listen, Ooishi's had his arc,
right? I mean, for sure, but Tataru's going to be the question.
Oh yeah, just save that for last.
Here we go. Here we go. Where was Rika? Here we go. Where was she? The septic tank of the outhouse.
What?
If only there were more than 30 seconds left in this arc.
Ooishi just pushes the credits aside I need this time. What?
So all the family heads and Shion. So presumably Shion killed the family heads, but then Shion is also there. So did Mion kill her?
Yeah, really.
That's my assumption.
Functionally, not much has changed.
Well, the positions of a lot of bodies have changed, right? Yeah.
Once again, they've done a huge switch around in terms of the implications without actually changing much of what happens. I love it.
Let me put it this way. By the end of this arc, I had a pretty solid theory of what was going on. And I want to, before we close out for this video, for this track or whatever, I want you to tell me what you think's going on, because you have a number of ways to explain. I assume at this point, just throw something out there, that Shion killed the family heads, and then Mion figured out what Shion was up to and killed her. But then we also have to explain why Mion and Sadako are dead with a gun between them, and what the fuck happened to Rika.
Well, the other one that's really interesting, just to kind of, I guess, preface this, is that last arc, it also seemed like Rika may have taken herself out of things early as well.
Yeah, sure. But she was found in a very gruesome state, apparently. She's in the septic tank, which implies drowning, but it looks like she'd been, tortured or stabbed or something. Who do you think did that?
Well, the only reason I doubt that it was the mountain dogs is because if we said that we saw the mountain dogs there, then that means that if anyone else had tried to do something to Rika, they probably would have gotten in the way.
Well, that's the thing, right? The question is, why are they even at the estate? Because if they know that Rika is already dead, why are they going to the estate in the first place, right? Because we have that line that who I assume is Shion and Sadako. They both kind of say, "I think I saw Rika out the back with some suspicious-looking construction worker."
Yeah, but then again, that also could be lies, right? Maybe,
do you think it
maybe Mion had earlier seen Rika with one of the mountain dogs, and
Do you think it's Mion in that scene, or do you think it's Shion?
It's
because in my mind, I think it's Shion. I don't know the answer.
Yeah, I would
think it's
say
Shion.
based on the dialogue in the latter scene, that'd probably be Shion.
Okay.
Just because I forget exactly what the wording was, but there was just something she was saying about
Sure.
the club that made it sound very distant.
Sure, maybe. If we suspect that it's Mion in the latest sequence with the gun and the underground bunker thing, she looks a lot more put together. So I would suspect that is in fact Shion who's like shaking the ladder. Because Mion, as we know from lore, from Rika's testimony, Mion is the one character who, when she gets Hinamizawa syndrome, she's like completely powerless. She just is incapable of killing other people.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's why it makes sense that she just locks Keiichi in the cell then, right?
For sure. Yeah, I completely agree. But what do you believe?
I don't know what I believe, Ben.
Okay,
I'm a very impressionable young man.
I mean, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I mean, I'm only drilling you because obviously I had a week between episodes, but at this point in the story, I feel a very strong idea of what was going on. I was like fighting people in the Hinamizawa Discord. So if people want to see that, they can probably go find it.
Yeah, we got a link in the description to the Discord if you're interested.
I'll have a link to the Discord, and you guys can you can see those discussions. Obviously the two arcs we've seen so far, like in the original story, didn't really illuminate the great Hinamizawa disaster. Do you think that still happens though, in one way or another? Or do you think that them like leaving in the truck is denying that? Do you think that's
I think is probably denying it in one shape or another, because there wasn't even like a hint of like it wasn't even until years later that something happened.
This would come to light.
Yeah.
We didn't get Keiichi's like confession letter either. Like
what was your theory at this point? We're up to the same point in the story, more or less.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you, at this point in the story, I was convinced that Sadako was the problem. That is my thought. And I'm going to base that on two sequences. One, from Walter Damashi, when we find that both Sadako and Mion are dead. We know that Mion isn't a killer. So the assumption then is that Sadako killed Mion and then shot herself. That is the assumption there, or vice versa. The other scene is in Onidamashi, where we find both Rika and Sadako's bodies. And they asked the question, the police asked the question, was this a murder or a suicide? And as we all know, the answer when Ryushi asks you that kind of question is yes. So my theory at this point in the story is that Sadako is the one who is causing trouble.
Yep.
And she is the one who killed Rika. And I guess to highlight a specific moment, because we kind of see that the septic tank is like locked. I think that maybe Sadako like hid herself in there to like bar it from the inside so nobody would find Rika.
I suppose, the septic tank is also kind of like, it's a bit of a trappy death, right?
Yeah, for sure. The problem with this theory is, of course, that like we find Rika in a very gruesome state, and I don't know what kind of motivation would lead to Sadako not just like killing her closest friend, but like gruesomely like, stabbing her over and over again or whatever's involved there. Whether it's the syndrome or something else.
I'm gonna just throw this to you, dude.
Sure.
What if she's stuck in the time loop too?
I had a very similar thought.
What if this is like her fucking doing everything she can to get out now that she's stuck too?
I had a very similar thought, but yeah, the question is, how does she kind of fit in with the broader story?
Because I mean, like, I don't really have much to go on with that, I suppose, but
sure.
I think, if we're asking the question of like, why are we back here, and we clearly have a lot of
there needs to be an outside influence, right?
Yeah, we have a lot of symbolism of like dualities.
Yes. The other question is, of course, why is there stuff in the OP that seems to be linked to Ryukshi's other properties, and what characters can we use to further that link?
Yeah, I mean, that's like an obvious pull that's kind of drawn that to my mind, but I'm trying to think of like stuff that's within the show itself.
Oh, I agree with you. I just want to make sure that's like on the table. There's another thing that kind of sprung out for me in the first arc, even when Rika's like going for the marker and Sadako like already has a trap set up, despite the fact that like, why would she have that trap set up in that specific location?
Fuck, you are so right. I had just completely waved that as cartoonish.
Yes, and then immediately after that, Rika is like, I got you though with the KO, and I feel like that is supposed to be reflective of the series as a whole. I feel like that's like where that's going. So, yeah. We'll have to see though. We'll have to see how things go.
Yeah, I guess I also wonder if that plays into like why Rika is kind of going along with things, as you were saying. Like maybe she's realized someone else is looping, but hasn't figured out who yet.
Maybe. I have no idea. I honestly don't know about that. That's not something that was on my mind at the time, and so I won't theorize any further. But
I guess the last thing I wanted to touch on before we close this out was the discussion of the traditions of the village. I didn't think that felt particularly different to me.
I feel like they just updated the phrasing to like make it more possible. Like
so in hindsight, having this conversation, I was wondering if maybe they updated the phrasing to like specifically, or at least the focus of the discussion to focus on how it had been like twisted. You know, there were two sides to the coin of like everyone helping each other out.
Well, that's kind of the question, and something that, you know, I've brought up many times in the show, and something that I don't know what the show's going to explore it, but the idea that Rika, by like time hopping into alternate timelines, like there's a kind of interesting philosophical question with a lot of time travel, like newer time travel stories of like, do these timelines just exist, or am I like creating them by wishing that they exist? Like if Rika had not time hopped in the first place, if that had never happened, would there have just been one timeline with one Hinamizawa disaster? And by creating all of these like failed timelines, has she just exacerbated the amount of pain that everyone is experiencing? Because there's all these different timelines, all these horrible fates and things. And so in a sense, is Rika the bad guy by like selfishly looking for the one timeline in which she doesn't die, but she's creating like hundreds of versions of the Hinamizawa disaster, and in a sense is her sin much greater than Takano's because of that.
Thank you so much for joining us for Wadadamashi Hen. We'll be back next time with whatever the fuck the next arc is called.
Tatari Damashi, I'll check it, but I assume it's Tatari Damashi Hen, yeah. Don't look at the arcs after that, though, please.
I'm not looking at anything. I haven't looked up a single thing for this show.
I'm looking everything up. I'm the one in charge of the looking up. I'm trying to be careful not to spoil myself. That's where I'm at.
Anyway. All right. Anyway, we will see you nerds next time.
We'll have to go next time. Whoa.